everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for being here. Usually I film lots of yoga content and vlogs of my daily life, but as you guys know, I have been recently enjoying doing these book reviews of all the books that I read in the month, recapping them at the end for you guys so that you could potentially get some ideas of books that you might want to read. And always feel free to leave comments of books that you recommend in the comments for me. But grab yourself a drink, I have some coffee here, or a snack, and sit back and enjoy this little video with me. So as you guys know from my last video that I filmed of these book recaps, I mentioned how I wanted to get into some fiction books and some light, enjoyable, fun reads on my brain since I spend a lot of time reading consciousness, spirituality, and self-help books. So I kind of wanted to take the opportunity to dive into some fiction, and that is exactly what I did. I went to my local library. You guys know I'm a big advocate for the library. There's so many resources there beyond just enjoyable reads. There's events and computers that you can use, things that you can help research and grow your knowledge outside of just enjoying fictional reads. So always support your local library. First, I'm gonna start with Women Talking by Miriam. I think how you say her last name is Toes or Towes, I'm not sure. But the author was in a Mennonite community herself, so her emotional connection to the story is really great, and you can tell the level of detail and emotion that she creates in the story. What really drew me to this book is that I noticed that it was on Netflix, and so I wanted to read it and get a feel for what it was like before I watched it on Netflix. So this is about women in the Mennonite community that they face all these extreme experiences with men that run the community, and it's really tragic and sometimes hard to wrap your mind around these events that occur, and it's really heartbreaking. But the story is about how these women come together, and in the middle of the night, in the wee hours when they have a sense of privacy and safety, to decide whether they should continue on this obedient faith path or if they should escape. And so the story kind of walks through that experience for them, and I won't give away how the story ends, but it's really great. I read this book after I read the second book I'm going to show you, so I feel like I was on a really high with the first book that I read, and so this one seemed kind of hard in some ways for me to connect, and it was more choppy of a read. You know, sometimes I like, when it's really good, I'll straight binge the book, and then sometimes there's harder books to connect with where I pick it up, read it for a little, set it down, you know. But all in all, I'd say I'd give it a 3 or a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's still worth a read to understand the perspective of other people's life experiences, and it's very eye-opening in that regard. So I would recommend this, and I'm excited to watch the Netflix show of it, or Netflix movie of it, to kind of see how it parallels to the book. And also, I'm doing this with the natural light today, so I'm sorry if the lighting kind of goes in and out, but nonetheless, last but not least, my favorite book maybe ever of nonfiction is Verity by Colleen Hoover. You guys, When I first decided that I wanted to dive into some fiction books, I went onto TikTok, went under book recommendations, and I saw this book, and I have seen so much about Colleen Hoover over the past couple years and how wonderful her books are, so I decided this would be a great way to get into fiction, and I couldn't agree more with that. So if you want to get into fiction or you just want to get into reading in general, this book is really, 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 really incredible. So the storyline of this book is this writer is attempting to fulfill a book series of a woman that's in critical condition, and the woman that's ill, her husband, and the writer start to have this love romance affair type of situation. And while all this is occurring, there's some spooky, creepy things that are happening, and it will keep you on the edge of your seat. There was so many moments my heart was racing and I was so emotionally invested in this book. What I love is you can't tell who is really the bad guy of the story. One minute you think it's one character, and then the next minute you think it's another character, and you're going back and forth emotionally on what's happening. And then in the end, just when you think it all comes together, the last chapter, it takes you for an extreme turn. And I was shocked, stunned, and left with immense emotion on this story. I think I was talking to my partner Bree every night that I would read this, play by play of what was occurring, and it was so good. I would literally rate this 10 out of 5 stars if I could, but 5 out of 5. I highly recommend this book. I also just love the way she writes. The writing is easy to digest, and I love that. I went through this book so quickly, and I was so excited that for the month of May, I've already picked up another Colleen Hoover book that I've already started. So you guys already know, be subscribed to see the next book recap and review for the month of May. But I'm so glad that I took the opportunity to get into some fiction. It has been so enjoyable for me and something different for me to dive into, and I am so pleasantly surprised by these books that I picked up, and I'm excited for some new additions. Like I said, guys, please leave in the comments some of your book recommendations, and I hope that you enjoyed this, and thank you so much for joining me for this little book chat. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next one.